Hello everyone, this is Tyrion, the Border Terrier, and we're going to demo an exercise that's great for teaching your dog to walk next to you and also what to do when they get out ahead of you. So normally, most dogs, if they've walked out ahead of you for some reason, or maybe you've backed away, they don't know how to get back into the position. So for my own service dog training, I like to teach dogs how to find the position next to you when they've gone out ahead. So when they're out ahead, it's a cue, a default situational cue to mean, oh, I need to get back into the position that you want your dog in. So for me, I'm going to have it on my left side next to me, and first we're going to warm up with just an exercise of getting the dog to move with me and stop with me. So I'm marking and feeding him for standing at my side when I've stopped, and also mark him for moving with me. Good. I already have a video tutorial on how to train the part of the exercise where the dog stops when you stop and moves when you move. So if you need more detail on that, you can check out the video in the description below, starring Halo as a little pup. To begin with, you can use a treat lure and lure the dog far enough behind, mark and reinforce when the dog is back at your side like that. Now, if your dog is not thinking to turn around, you can mark and reinforce for them going way back here, feed there, and then another treat for turning around at first. And then, once you've done that a couple of times and marked and reinforced for the dog standing stationary at your side, you can then see if you can do it without a treat and just invite your dog with an open hand like that. Good. Good. Once your dog is reliably following the visual cue, you can add a verbal cue such as close or whatever word or cue you want to have mean for the dog to be in the default position. Good job. So I'm going to say close and then lure the dog with my hand signal into the position, mark, and feed. Then you can get the dog to offer this behavior if you like, but in this video I'm just going to go over proofing getting back into that position. So one way of getting back in the position is turning around and straightening yourself up like a finish. The other way to get back in that position is backing up. So to teach that, you lure the dog a little bit forward, or you cue them to touch your hand like that, or just say get it to get the treat, and then you're going to lure the dog backwards to get back into that position. Now, some dogs will lay down if you lure them backwards, so you have to have the treat low enough at first, and it's not going to look that pretty good, but you'll get there. So putting the treat down below their chin and moving it back, marking the millisecond the dog moves back, and I've lost my clicker. To initially get the back up behavior, you can drop a treat down between your legs like this and mark just a stutter step backwards and feed between the dog's feet a little bit further back so they're moving back looking for a treat. So he can't go around my legs because there's a wall in the background. So I'm going to put the treat there, stand up, drop some treats on him, and mark the moment he gets up to move back to see where I went and look for more treats. So the dog really has to be motivated to find treats. If the dog sits, you can just lure the dog back up and then move the treat below them to get them to stand up like that. Another thing you can do is just sit in a chair like this with a space between, put the treat there, and then lure the dog back and see if the dog might walk backwards. But because he's thinking to do obedience behaviors, I'm just going to make the channel a little smaller and then mark a stutter step back like that. So just setting up the props and the environment can help the dog figure out the behavior. So because the channel is a little bit too uncomfortable to turn around in and easier to back up, he's going to choose to back up. Whoop. Good boy. Yeah. Get it. Back up. Good. Get it. Get it. Ready? Back up. Good. If you're uncomfortable putting food down on the ground, you can simply feed a treat here and then quickly move your hand away so that the dog has to back up to get it. If you've worked on sit a lot or down a lot, seeing your hand with the treat is like the cue to do the behavior. So that is why some dogs struggle when you try to lure them backwards with the treat. So first, getting this little bit of offering is really going to help them get the movement of backing up when you move your hand away. So now I don't have a treat there, and I'm just going to move my hand back in a gesture and mark and reinforce for backing up, and lure him a little bit forward if he thinks to sit, so that I'm reinforcing him in the standing position. Good job. Ready? Get it. Back up. Good. Awesome. Get it. Good job. Ready? Back up. Awesome. Nice work. So he is backing up away from me, and the behavior that we're going to want is for him to back up to get next to me again. So what I can do is turn my chair around. Back up. Good boy. Back up. Good. Get it. Back up. Good boy. Touch. Back up. Back up. Good. That was good. Get it. Back up. Good boy. The next step is seeing if your dog will offer the behavior. So I'm going to feed him slightly ahead, bring my hand back, and see if he goes back into the default position at my side. So if your dog doesn't think to back up, you can simply do a hand gesture to get them to back up. Your verbal cue close, if that's what the cue is for having your dog at your side. Or if that doesn't work, you can lure the dog back into the position. So you can either use a hand target to get your dog out of the position, move your hand back like you're standing normally or sitting normally, or however you want to be when your dog's next to your side, and then you're going to mark and reinforce your dog for being back at your side like that, and then mark and reinforce your dog for staying there. So the dog doesn't know when they're going to get the treat for being at your side like that. He's like, what if I go even further back? Okay, so I'm going to lure him a little bit in front of me like this and see if he can think to get back at my side. Now, if I was in a, if he was like right out in front of me like this, and I didn't want him to then have to do that maneuver to get back there, like a finish, what I could do is create a corner to teach him that behavior. So either go into the corner of a room or lure the dog so that they're right in front of you, and then they have to turn in order to get back at your side like that. So I can say, get it, and then I can stand up normally and see if he thinks to get into the position. He was a little skew, so you can see how being in the corner of a room would really help. So I'm going to go in that corner by the couch. Because this object isn't as helpful for training the behavior. So if I stand here, good job, and then I see if he offers turning into the heel position, and that makes it much easier for him to understand, because that visual barrier on his left is there, and he can straighten up. This is Epic, my Chihuahua, on a socialization trip to Home Depot when she was a puppy, and you can see the exercise of teaching her to stop when you stop next to my side, as well as get back into the heel position, really has taught her where to stay when we move through the environment in different environments.
Today, for further details, and always thanks for shopping at the El Cajon Home Depot.
It's a great idea to master these exercises at home and in non-distracting environments to build that reinforcement value of wanting to be in that default position at your side, rather than trying to train these exercises out and about, because what can happen is the reinforcement value can be lower to the dog because they're out and about and there are distractions happening. So really building the strength of your behaviors at home is going to make your dog want to do them when out and about if you've practiced enough and built that positive association with being next to you. And then the final step, if you have a service dog team, is going to the places you need to go with your service dog. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support my work, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also become a supporting member of channel Kiko Pup by clicking the join button. See you later, guys. Good job, Tyrion. You did so good.